It all started so simply. Sarah, my wife, had been working hard for months. She was a dedicated professional, often traveling for business conferences, meetings, and networking events. I never thought twice when she told me she was heading out for another business trip. It was just another week. Just another one. I'll see you soon. I love you. Don't forget to take care of the kids. I kissed her goodbye, and like always, I wished her a safe trip. Before we dive in, please subscribe to our channel. It means the world to us and helps us bring you more amazing stories. We've been together for nearly a decade, and in that time, we built a life that was built on trust, love, and commitment. Or at least, that's what I thought. At first, everything seemed normal. She called me on the first night, telling me about her day, how she had been busy at meetings, and how the city was nice. Nothing extraordinary, but that was Sarah. She was always polite, always kind, and always composed. I didn't think much of it. The next day, though, something started to feel off. It wasn't the way she was talking to me or any obvious signs of unease. It was the silence. She wasn't as responsive to my texts, and when she did respond, her answers were short, almost dismissive. When she said she'd call later, she didn't. I didn't want to jump to conclusions, but that nagging feeling in the pit of my stomach only grew stronger. I decided not to say anything and just waited. I told myself she was probably tired. After all, business trips could be exhausting. But when the days went by and I only received a few texts here and there, I started to feel a growing sense of discomfort. Then came the tipping point. One night, after putting the kids to bed, I was sitting on the couch scrolling through my phone. As I checked our shared cloud photo album, something caught my eye. It was a photo I hadn't seen before, a photo of Sarah, but this time she wasn't alone. She was standing with a man. I didn't know who he was, but what stood out to me was the closeness of their bodies. They were standing side by side, but their faces were too close. His arm was around her waist, and they were both smiling at the camera, looking like they shared a private joke. That wasn't how she would have behaved at a work event, and I knew it. This wasn't just a friendly, professional colleague photo. This was something else. I tried to stay calm, but my heart raced. I zoomed in on the photo, hoping for some kind of explanation. Maybe it was just a harmless moment, I thought, but the more I stared at the image, the more I realized that I couldn't ignore this. Something wasn't right. I couldn't just sit there. I had to know who this man was. So I did what anyone else might do. I started digging. I searched his name online and found his social media profile. I went through everything. And then I found something that made my blood run cold: messages, private messages. And not just any messages, but messages from Sarah. Their conversations were flirtatious, intimate, and full of inside jokes I had never heard. They were clearly more than just business partners. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. Sarah, the woman I trusted, the woman I built a family with, had been hiding this from me. She had been lying for months. It wasn't just a fleeting mistake or a one-night thing. This was an affair. They had met in different cities. She had even been to hotels with him, hotels I never knew about. I felt a lump in my throat as I pieced everything together, the betrayal becoming more evident with each passing minute. But I wasn't done yet. I couldn't just sit there. I wasn't going to let her get away with this. I needed more. I needed confirmation. So I traced their interactions, looking through her phone, finding reservations at hotels, and even a few flight tickets, all matching up with the timeline of her business trip. The lies were everywhere. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. The trust I had placed in her, everything I had believed in, was shattered in an instant. I had been a fool. And the hardest part? We had children together. We had a family. I thought we had a future. But now I was left with a deep, aching void in my chest, and I had to decide what to do next. It wasn't just about me anymore. It was about the kids. How could I explain this to them? How could I tell them that their mother, the person they loved and trusted, had been lying to us all? The next day, I called her. I couldn't wait any longer. I had to confront her. I had all the proof I needed. I dialed her number, my hands shaking with a mixture of anger and sorrow. When she answered, she sounded normal at first, too normal, like nothing was wrong. I wasted no time. Sarah, I know everything, I said, my voice steady despite the rage bubbling inside me. There was silence on the other end, followed by a shaky sigh. I, I didn't mean for it to happen, she said, her voice trembling. I'm so sorry. Don't apologize, I snapped. I don't want to hear your apologies. Tell me the truth. How long has this been going on? She tried to deny it at first, but the evidence was irrefutable. Finally, she admitted it, everything. The trips, the lies, the affair. She cried, told me it was a mistake, but I didn't care. The damage was done. My world had come crashing down. I never wanted to hurt you, she whispered, her voice breaking. I didn't mean to fall for him. I could barely hold back the tears, but I didn't want to cry. I was done. She had betrayed me, and I couldn't let her get away with it. I had to show her the consequences of what she had done. I hung up on her, shaking with fury. It was time to make her feel the pain I was feeling, the betrayal, the emptiness. But it wasn't just about her anymore, it was about me taking control of my life. The life she had tried to destroy. That night, I took action. I packed her things, everything she owned, and threw them in garbage bags. Her clothes, her jewelry, everything. I didn't care. She had broken my heart, and now I was going to break everything she had. But it didn't stop there. I called a lawyer and filed for divorce. There was no turning back. I had been a fool to think we could fix it, that we could recover from this. She had crossed the line and there was no going back. The next day, I gathered the kids and explained everything. They were too young to fully understand, but I told them that their mother wouldn't be coming back. It wasn't easy, but they deserved the truth, even if they couldn't comprehend it. I promised them that I would always be there for them, that we would get through this together. Sarah begged me to reconsider, to let her come back, but I didn't care anymore. I couldn't look at her without seeing the lies, the betrayal. She had taken everything from me, and I wasn't going to let her take my dignity, my kids, or my peace of mind. As she packed her things and left, I stood there watching her walk away. I wasn't angry anymore. The anger had turned into something else, something colder, something stronger. I was done with her. She had made her choice, and now I had to make mine. I walked to the kitchen, grabbed a glass of water, and sat down. For the first time in weeks, I felt a sense of calm. It wasn't happiness. It wasn't relief. It was acceptance. I had dealt with the truth, and now I had to rebuild my life. I had to be strong for myself, for my children. I knew the road ahead wouldn't be easy, but I also knew that I could handle it. I could face whatever came my way because I had learned one important lesson: no one can take away your dignity unless you let them. And I wasn't about to let Sarah or anyone do that to me again. If you've ever faced betrayal like this, or if you've learned the hard way that trust is something that should never be taken for granted, share your thoughts below. Don't forget to hit subscribe for more stories like this, because we all need to know we're not alone in the hardest times.